Hello and welcome to the United Stand. This is our Manchester United versus Bournemouth show. But ho. We've got more than that in our sack, and I'm going to empty that sack all over you. Because I did not mean that at all. What I meant to say is that there's more to the Bournemouth show. I'm embarrassed myself. There's more to the Bournemouth show. There's more to the Bournemouth preview. God, this is going bad. There's more to the Bournemouth show than Bournemouth. There's a lot. And the reason I was a little bit late, if you're watching live, because I always get moaned at for being late, but actually there was some breaking news that I wanted to check out for you, and it's good news. Because Mourinho has taken 3 big L's today, 3 big rejections from 3 players we really would like to be signing that aren't going to sign. Ozil, Griezmann and Sandro. We'll talk about that in a minute. But the positive news is Thomas Meunier, who actually I will eventually get round to my video in relation to transfers we can get in January. And Meunier is a player I really think we could get. I had the same feeling about Lindelof a year ago, and I know he didn't sign in January, but he did sign in the summer. So there was obviously something in those rumours, and I think there's something in the Thomas Meunier thing. Why is it suddenly breaking news? Well, I think he's been linked to United for a long time, and it's a viable move because he's at PSG. He's not happy. He's not playing as many games as he wants to. They got Dani Alves, didn't they? Well, he's basically tweeted out tonight that on the Football Manager that he's gone to Manchester United and got a contract, and what a nice, pretty contract it is. So it's all about a computer game, but it's all a little bit of a hint for me. Would you like him at Manchester United? He's 6'3". He's a right back. He can play centre back. He can play in the midfield. He can almost play at left back as well. I think he's exactly what Mourinho would like. Very strong. Attribute-wise, he's very good at everything. He's got a decent pace. He's strong. He's good on the ball. And you know, he's combative. And I think Mourinho would like him. I would like him at United. And I think if we could get him for anywhere between 20 and 30 million, I think he would be a useful signing for us, especially in that right-back position where we do seem to struggle a little bit. Yes, good point. But anyway, we've got lots and lots to talk about. The Meunier thing's interesting, and that's just breaking, so we'll give you that. What I want to talk about is Manchester United against Bournemouth. Look, I accept, because I feel it myself, that we are in a situation at the moment where we feel very, very hungover from that Man City result. And the Bournemouth game, I mean, people are even saying, should Mourinho really sort of give up on the league in a way and focus on other things? Well, he can't focus on the Champions League till February. He can't focus on the FA Cup till January. And the League Cup, I'm not really particularly bothered about. The league, we've got loads of league games before New Year. And if we lose points in those, we will get pulled into a battle for 6th, 5th, 3rd or 2nd. So 3rd or 4th. So United have got to take these league games seriously. Yes, the league has gone. It has gone. But we need to pick ourselves up quickly for many reasons. Because we're Manchester United, but also because if we finish second, I tweeted it out this morning, if we finish second, we get to the semi-final of the Champions League and we win the FA Cup, I'd start the season in August now. I mean, I'll throw that out to you lot at home. If I said to you now, December the 12th, but I can give you second in the Premier League, semi-final of the Champions League, and we'll win the FA Cup, and we can start next season now. Would you take it? Because I would, because I don't think we're going to get. We're not going to win the league. So second is the best we can do. We've already won the League Cup, so the FA Cup would be nice, and Champions League semi-finals, I can't see us winning it. So I would take all those 3 things and just start the season again, because I feel like that. I feel like the league is gone, and it is obviously makes me feel very upset because we blew it on Sunday. We know that, but we've got to go again. We've got to go again. We're not Liverpool. We're not Arsenal. We can't become a major hangover. The thing that makes me laugh the most is that, and it doesn't make me laugh. It's just a figure of speech. But what I would say is this: is that a lot of people are thinking Bournemouth's an easy result, and I think if we'd beaten City at the weekend with momentum, it probably would be. But Bournemouth aren't a bad team, and Manchester United without Pogba are a bad team. We saw it on Sunday. We saw it in October. Manchester United without Pogba are pretty poor. We're clueless in the attack. We resort to long ball and we frustrate the fans. When Pogba plays, we look like title winners. When Pogba doesn't play, we look like mid-table winners. So yeah, it's hard without Pogba, and I think Bournemouth are a decent team, and it could be a very frustrating game tomorrow. Join us for the watch along with that. We will be live, of course. But this is how I would line up for this game very quickly. I've heard people saying, should Lukaku be dropped? No, not in a million years. I don't know what the situation is with Zlatan, but he doesn't look anywhere near ready. Now, that might be because he's finished, or it could be because we're rushing him back, or he's rushing himself back. But he was poor against Man City, and every little cameo he's had so far this season, he's looked poor, slow, off the pace. So, unless you're going to play Anthony Martial up front, it's got to be Lukaku for me. And you know what about Lukaku? He's our player. He's taken a lot of L's. He was totally and utterly responsible in many ways for that result on Sunday. He gifted City 2 goals. He missed a chance that would have got us a valuable point. He was dreadful on Sunday. But it's not Sunday now, it's Tuesday. Play Lukaku tomorrow, because I tell you what, we're not selling Lukaku. Do your research on Manchester United and Mourinho. We are not going to get rid of a £75 million striker. We are not going to do it. We are not going to tattoo to our head as a club, and Mourinho to his head, L. L for Lukaku, L for loser. You know, we're not going to do it. He costs £75 million, and whether you think he's good enough or not, he will be at the club for as long as Mourinho is, and probably longer. So whether you like Lukaku or not, he's here. So what are you going to do about it? You're going to moan about it, or you're going to get behind him and back him? Look, I've always had my concerns about him. I said it in the summer. His first touch is dreadful. He is a bit of a flat track bully. But he's our number 9. We need to back him, and I would not drop him. He needs to play. He needs to be given an opportunity to respond. You know how Manchester United solved the problem of Lukaku? They create more chances. If Lukaku gets one chance like on Sunday, or like he did in the last minute against Stoke and we didn't win that one, and he misses it, moan about Lukaku, but all we'll do is say, well, in the summer we said he needs more than one chance. He's not a one-chance striker. He needs 4 or 5 chances to score 2 goals. That's what Manchester United and Mourinho need to do. They need to bring players in who are going to give him 4 or 5 chances in a game. Because at the moment, in fairness to him, he's feeding off scraps. That was a bloody good chance against Man City, and any striker should have buried it, but it was one good chance. Yes, it's not ideal. I would love to have a striker who can put that one chance in, and maybe that was the mistake in the summer. But we've got him now. I nearly said we stuck with him. He does have some good attributes. I'm struggling to think of any at the moment, no. But in all seriousness, he does have some good attributes. He will probably score over the next few games quite a few goals, because it's mid to bottom table teams. That's where he comes good. He needs our support. He needs to play tomorrow, and I think he's going to be here for a long time. And whether I would still have him now, I don't know. But he's here. We can't change that. He's not going. We need to support him. And I think what Mourinho needs to do is bring players in who are going to create chances for him. When Pogba doesn't play, United don't create chances. We need to go and buy a couple of players in positions who can give him them chances. Anyway, we'll talk about that in a little minute. This is the team I would go with against Bournemouth tomorrow. De Gea in goal, Valencia right back. I'd play Lindelof and Smalling, because Lindelof's been fantastic and Rojo's got a head injury. I don't want to see Phil Jones in the team. Phil Jones is 4th in line at the moment. I don't see the point in Phil Jones playing. I'd play Luke Shaw, because Ashley Young probably needs a bit of a rest anyway, and Luke Shaw deserves to start, and we deserve a boost as fans. I don't want to really see everybody from Sunday playing, because it's going to irritate me. I think Luke Shaw deserves a start, so I would start him. Matic and Herrera. Mata deserves to start. I would play Mata at number 10. He actually created things in the last 15 minutes against Man City, and they were scared of him, which tells you a lot. Top of the table, we're scared of Mata. He needs to play. Martial plays on the left because he's better than Rashford, who needs to be dropped. Lingard had put on the right, and Lukaku up front, and that is how I would go for it. I do agree with Maher that Martial up front is a good shout. I don't think it's ever going to happen, but I do believe that Lukaku needs to play big time. I just also want to say that Mourinho gave his press conference today. He was asked about this Man City brawl. You know what? It irritates me. It irritates me that Manchester United reacted to petulant, bad-mannered, loud Man City when they won a game. Why is this a surprise? Man City have got it. Man City have got their own bloody tunnel cam, and they're big show-offs when they're going past it. I've seen videos in the past. Of course they're going to milk it. Literally, milk was thrown apparently. But Manchester United reacting to that and fighting with them in a tunnel annoys me, because this is no surprise. Why are you surprised? You should have known this before. Mourinho and the players should have been up for it from minute 1 and realised if you lose, you are going to get mocked by Petty Pep and his little boy team, who have got no maturity. They have got no class. They are spoilt little rich boys. That's what Man City are. But they did turn up, and they did play us off the park, and they were more passionate. So it's only ourselves to blame. I'm not excited, I'm not inspired, and I'm not happy with this fight in the tunnel afterwards. Because I tell you what, it's 90 minutes too late. So I don't really care if Lukaku flew in like a big, massive bruiser he is. I don't care. He didn't do it on the pitch. It's irrelevant to me. I'm not bothered who ran to Mourinho's rescue. No one ran to the fans' rescue on the pitch, and that's the frustration for me. So I don't want to hear about the tunnel anymore. It bores me. It doesn't inspire me. I'm not happy about it. It's too late. You should have done it on the pitch. Do your talking on the pitch. We need to buy Verratti, says Littlefinger. And also, I mean, apparently this fight started because they said Zlatan talks a lot but moves too little. You know what? I think there's actually some truth in that. Zlatan gobbing off when he's not doing it on the pitch is an issue. You leave yourself wide open to get mocked. It's called banter. And I like banter in football. So, you know what? Manchester United need to respond tomorrow night against Bournemouth and prove themselves better than what they are. The tactics were shocking. Long ball isn't what we want to see. We want to see entertainment. And that's why I want to see Mata playing tomorrow. I want to see Luke Shaw playing tomorrow. Martial playing. Put Lingard on the right. Lukaku up front. And let's try and play some football. Let's impose ourselves. Let's get down the flanks, which we didn't do against City. Let's inspire the crowd. Let's bomb on. Let's do something that we did do against Watford and we did do against Arsenal. The common denominator, unfortunately, is Pogba. Talking about Arsenal, there are 3 potential L's for Mourinho this today. First one is Ozil looks like he's going to stay at Arsenal. They're going to offer him the biggest wage that there's ever been. I think at the moment, I've said for a few weeks I would take Ozil at Manchester United. I still think he'll leave Arsenal. I think he might go abroad, but he was a potential player that we were going to be looking at. Alexandro from Juventus, we were talking about him the other day. Apparently his tendency is to go to Chelsea and snub Manchester United. This is the modern footballer, folks. This has been going on for 20 years. You cannot get your head on it. You can't put your hat on as to why Alexandro would want to go and play for Chelsea, because they're a nothing club. They really are a nothing club. They've got no class, but Manchester United have. But Alexandro probably fancies a bit of London. The money will be the same, and that's the modern footballer for you. So it looks like he would go to Chelsea over Manchester United, which is disappointing. And then the cherry on the cake, Griezmann. Griezmann, who I've always thought we were going to sign, and maybe we still will. Reports today that the top officials at Manchester United who deal with these sort of things, they've already been told that he's off to Barcelona. So that would be another one. Griezmann, Sandro, Ozil, probably off the menu. And then Ross Barkley, who is a player I quite like, he was just showing off his injury scar today from his hamstring operation, and I don't think he's going to be back playing anytime soon, so he's not an option in January. So what United are going to do in January is going to be very, very interesting. There are options out there. People still think Goretzka. I don't think there's anything in that. Meunier has opened the show up with, yes, potentially, but I was asked this question today: what would you do after that Man City game if you were Manchester United manager? What would you be looking to change about the team? And I would go and get 2 attacking midfielders. I don't necessarily think they're the red alert positions we need to sort out, but as I was saying a minute ago, we are stuck with Lukaku. If you don't like him, you're stuck with him. If you like me, I think he can come good. Either way, he's going to be here. Mourinho is not going to do to Lukaku what he's done to Mkhitaryan. This is a £75 million striker. You can't, like I said, the club and Mourinho will just take the biggest L forever if this doesn't work out with Lukaku. So Lukaku's here to stay. How do you get the best out of Lukaku? Because he is going to play every week. Mourinho doesn't want to ever sub him, which I disagree with, but he doesn't want to. So how do we get the best out of Lukaku? If you look at Lukaku's career, the way to get the best out of Lukaku is to give him lots of chances. Because you give him 5 chances, he won't score 5 goals. He might score 2, he might score 3. And at the moment, we're not creating enough chances. And at the moment, that's because Pogba's not around. And Mkhitaryan has failed us. So we need to go and buy attacking midfielders who are going to create chances. One of them needs to be a winger and should have been Perisic in the summer. And fair play to Mourinho, he wanted him and he didn't get him. The club let us down on that. We need to get a winger in and we need to get another number 10 in. Now you can talk Griezmann, you can talk Ozil, you can talk Dybala. There's plenty of players out there. There's plenty of players I can't even think of that we've probably not even been linked to, but that we might be looking at. But that is what Manchester United need. We need to change our tact. If you look at Manchester City, or even if you look at Liverpool, right? Liverpool are terrible at the back. They'll struggle to finish in the top 4. Manchester City are terrible at the back. They'll win the title. But their approach in the attack is quick, it's fast, it's creative. You put Lukaku in Man City's team, you put Lukaku in Liverpool's team, he would score a lot of goals. He'd miss a lot, but he'd get so many chances he'd score a lot of goals as well. It's debatable whether Pep would let Lukaku anywhere near his team because I don't think he likes that sort of player. And the same with Klopp. Manchester United need to start creating more chances. And this reserved approach that we see in the bigger games doesn't suit Lukaku. He's not a one-chance striker. So Mourinho needs to find a balance that this team is going to start creating more chances, because we've scored a lot of goals this season. You know, we have scored a lot of goals and we have got the right sort of players. But Lukaku's staying, and I still think he's the best striker we've got, because Martial won't be played up front. But we need to create chances for him. We do need to create chances for him. Smash that like button, everyone. It'd be nice to get 500 likes before we go off air. Now going to whack into your comments and see what you lot have got to say. Also, I just want to say as well, apparently Ian Wright says that Manchester United are firmly in Manchester City's shadow. That may well be, Ian, but at least we're in the same room. You are, you know, Arsenal, Liverpool, Chelsea, Spurs. You're not even in the same room. I love the fact that Manchester United are getting so much stick, yet we are comfortably second. That's still the first loser. I hate it. It's not good enough. But to be taking stick from ex-Arsenal players, ex-Chelsea players, ex-Liverpool players, and their idiotic groups of fans, we are second in the league. The only fans who can have a pop at us, because they haven't got any ex-players of any note anyway, they'll have to wheel out Gallagher again, is Man City fans. And there aren't many of them anyway. So really, Manchester United, we should just be self-loathing, which is what we are doing, because nobody else's opinion really matters, because we're above them. And Man City ain't got any fans, so we're fine. But creativity is what we need in this team. We are in Man City's shadow at the moment. We're in a very precarious position, I will admit that. I mean, Man City came to Old Trafford, they were dominant. They didn't create many chances, I will admit that. But they were dominant in their style of play, and they played the sort of football we would like our team to play. When they didn't have the ball, they pressed, they got it back. That would have got the crowd up. When they have got the ball, they're moving it quickly, they're running at people. That's what Manchester United fans want to see. That performance from Pep Guardiola's City at Old Trafford was one of the best I've seen them play this season, and it's exactly what we as Manchester United fans want to see. Passion and pressing when we haven't got the ball, and when we have got the ball, creation, commitment, committing players in front of you. So that's what Mourinho needs to change. Otherwise, he's always going to have doubters. And when we get bad results, it will turn more and more people against him. Of course, I'm not in that situation. I think he can get us playing good football. But we are in a precarious situation, because if Manchester City continue with this juggernaut thing, they're already going to win this league. If we don't improve enough, they'll win next league. And then, I mean, they've already got a bye to the quarterfinals of the Champions League with Basel. I was saying to somebody at work today, you know, the FA Cup's always a bit of a, you never know, but if they could win the I think they've won the Premier League already. If they've only got to win the Champions League, they could win the Champions League, Premier League and Champions League. I mean, how do you recover from that? I said to the lad at work today, I said, that's it for me, I'll quit football. I can't live with that. I'll pretend I was a rugby fan all along. Man City is Premier League and Champions League winners on Mourinho's watch. Woo! That's going to be very hard. That's going to be very hard. And I think that is a lot of that. You know, that's why Lukaku's getting so much stick. That's why Mourinho's getting so much stick. Because it's not just a loss. It's a loss to Manchester City at home. And it's the manner of the loss. It's the way they played. The way they were up for it. The way they played good football. The way they pressed against the way we never really looked up for it until after the game when we're fighting in the tunnel. Hitting long balls. You know, no ball retention. It's the manner of the defeat and that the significance of it. It was a big sort of like passing of the guard. You know, I would never say Manchester's blue because it's not, but the best team in the Premier League is definitely City. Shah Hossan says City won't win both. Mata deserves a start, says Jake Goodil, which I totally agree. Bale has been mentioned, said Sally, Devil Red, Mitchell. I mean, I don't know what everybody else thinks about Bale, but I wouldn't touch him with a barge pole. I really wouldn't. I don't want Gareth Bale at Manchester United. He's too much of an injury problem. I said today, in fact, I might be able to do it off the top of my head, but no, I won't. I don't like doing things off the top of my head, so we'll do it for real. I think Manchester United are at a situation now where we've been speaking about this for the last 2 years. Yeah, the last 2 years we've been talking about this, saying, you know, there's deadwood. There's deadwood in this club, and we need to resolve that deadwood. Well, I think after Sunday's result against City, Mourinho needs to be ruthless. And what I'm about to say, read the sentence. Mourinho needs to be ruthless. The word ruthless is in there. So when I name some of these players and you go, oh, you can't get rid of him, he's all right. Ruthless is the word. So Mourinho needs to be ruthless to get Manchester United back on top. And from my personal opinion, I don't know what yours is, when I'm talking about being ruthless, 4 players I would sell straight away. Phil Jones, Marouane Fellaini, Daley Blind, Matteo Darmian. Now I know some of you go, oh, I like Blind. Oh, Fellaini's a good option. Fellaini's a decent player. Fellaini's all right. For me, Fellaini's a decent option is not the words that are spoken by Premier League title winners. Ruthless. Get rid. Phil Jones has been one of our best centre-backs this year. He's always injured. Ruthless. Get rid. Can't rely on him. Darmian and Blind, like them both. Squad players. We can sell them, get decent money for them, and maybe get Meunier in. Sell them. Get rid. And also, my second phase would be Ashley Young, Jesse Lingard, and Herrera are bench players. They are not first-team players. Oh, Ashley Young's been brilliant at left-back the last few weeks. Ashley Young at left-back is not a Premier League title-winning left-back. He's a squad player. Ruthless. Get a proper left-back in. Jesse Lingard. Oh, he's a local lad. He really tries, and he scored that good goal against Watford. Let him do it off the bench. Is Jesse Lingard a first 11 player for Manchester United when you want them to win the title? No. Get Ruthless. Get him on the bench. And Herrera, this pains me. I don't know what's gone wrong with Herrera. I thought Herrera actually, effort-wise, was probably man of the match on Sunday. Effort-wise. But his refusal to play a pass forward is irritating. Ruthless. Get him on the bench. Don't get him starting games. Manchester United's problem at the moment is one or two well, Pogba's the only one who's injured at the moment, really. Pogba's injured and we're playing too many players that either shouldn't be part of the squad or should be firmly on the bench. I mean, just what I was talking about there. Lingard, Herrera, Ashley Young. Not good enough if you want to win a Premier League title. Not good enough against a team like Manchester City. Stick them on the bench and get 3 players who are good enough in. Ruthless. That's what I mean. People might not like it, but you're asking me, and I'm asking you, what United need to do to challenge Manchester City. They need to get people call it deadwood. It's not necessarily obvious deadwood. Get rid of the deadwood. Some of this so-called deadwood, they're not terrible footballers. They're just not quite good enough to be first-team players to win a title. Fellaini, Jones, Herrera, Young, Lingard, they've all been good this season. I'm talking about being ruthless. I'm talking about making Manchester United Premier League winners. And those 5, it's not a witch hunt. I don't hate them. Collectively, they've been quite good for us this season. But we're talking about how we're going to make... Second place is good. Second place, Liverpool would probably take that every year for the next 50. Same with Arsenal. Same with Spurs. They'd like that. That's their ceiling. Second place is like winning the title to them. To Manchester United, second place is the first loser. How do you bridge what is effectively 11 points? Let's not call it first and second because that makes it sound, oh, well, we're in second. It's 11 points. How do we bridge 11 points? We do it with the current squad that we've got. 11 points is very significant when you're not even halfway through the season. That could become 20 points by the end of the season. In fact, I wouldn't be surprised if it did. So how do you bridge that gap? Just to get level with City? Ruthless. Ruthless. Get rid of these players that are starting every week who, for me, should be sold or on the bench. And people are going to not like it. Somebody just said Antonio Valencia there. I can sort of see where you're coming from. The problem with that is, even when you've been ruthless like that, I heard a brilliant comment the other day about Matic. Matic is a great signing, but Matic needs to be a great signing now. In 3 years' time, he'll be on the decline because he's 29. So Matic is, you need the team to be ready now, and it's not. So Matic, as much as we like Matic, by the time we sort this team out, we might have to replace Matic because he'll be on the decline. Matic is a player for now. We need to get the team around Matic and Valencia again because he's getting old. They need the players around them now. We can't snooze. Snooze, you lose. We've got to do it quick. Pogba's not injured. He's suspended. Patrick, sorry, I missed my words. We need players of Pogba's calibre. And yes, there are 3 or 4 players that are, says Professor FC. I do. I agree with that. I think we need to buy 2/3 top class players. I think that's where United are short. When I look at Man City at the weekend and I look at Manchester United, Manchester United couldn't string a few passes together. We could have borrowed 2 of City's attackers off the bench and still not been good enough. We have got no flair attacking players apart from Martial on Sunday. I mean, Rashford isn't playing well at the moment. So we are, Mkhitaryan, that's not Mourinho's fault. He's just been a flop. So he's let us down because he's fit and he can't even get on the bench. So Mkhitaryan's been a miss. Mata's decent, but I don't think he's ever going to really play Mata enough. We need 2 or 3 players that have got a real top-class players, and 2 of them need to be attacking players. Then we'll see Lukaku getting more chances, and he'll still infuriate us with misses, but he'll score goals because There's no reason against that Man City team, if you had a team that was good enough to beat them and you imposed yourself on the game, there's no reason we couldn't have created 5 chances for Lukaku at the weekend. I guarantee we would have scored 2 of them. So we need to create more. That's the problem with Manchester United. We need to create more. Ty Williams has probably just made the comment of the night. The lack of wingers at Manchester United has killed us. Well, I've spoken about this so many times. So many times. It's ingrained in my identity as a Manchester United fan and probably most of yours. And it goes beyond my support of Manchester United. This goes back years and years. 60s, 50s, beyond. It's Manchester United wing play. It's ingrained in the club's psyche. It is there. And we're not using it. I mean, I've got my laptop in front of me and I'm going down the right and the left wing. You know, everything in my life is about wing play. If I play FIFA, I'm going down the wing. It's ingrained in a real Manchester United fan's mind. That's the way you play. You use your wingers. You bomb on. You know, the winger gets it, the fullback bombs on. You know, that's Manchester United. If we'd done that at the weekend or if we do it tomorrow night, Manchester United fans won't even know they're doing it at Old Trafford. They'll just start roaring because it's what we're used to. It's what we're used to. Wing play's not dead. People don't use it, but wing play's not dead. You just need the right sort of wingers to do it. We've got 2 very good fullbacks in Valencia and Young or Shaw. We just need the wide players to do it. And I think United actually, because we're a very tall team and Lukaku's not bad in the air and Pogba's not, and you know, I think United. Ty's right. It's one area that Mourinho just hasn't addressed, and neither did Van Gaal, and neither did Moyes tried with his 50 million crosses, didn't he? But yeah, the wing play, if we could bring that back, it's what we are. You should never turn your back on what you are. It's in our identity of the club. We need to do it. I called Mkhitaryan a flop, Margarian, not Mourinho. I wouldn't have Zaha back. I've seen a few people mention that, Siobhan Brown. I wouldn't have Zaha back. To be fair, we did it 2 or 3 times this weekend, says Nadeem. Manchester United down the wings scares the opposition as well. It's in our tradition. Lynn Hall says United had a tradition of exciting wingers for decades. Can't understand why we haven't bought any except for 2 flops. Can't understand why we've not brought any through, Lynn. You know, I remember growing up. You know, you had Giggs, you had Lee Sharp. Even Terry Cook was a good winger coming through. Unfortunately, a bad injury stopped him. Beckham played out wide. You know, we've had plenty of wingers coming through the years as well. It's baffling that Manchester United, and maybe it's because we look for foreign players and we're bringing these foreign lads in. I mean, there are some players out there that could do it. I mean, I really like Tahith Chong. I'm really glad that he's back. He's been out for a long time with this knee injury. He's back now. He's got talent. He could do it. He's probably not quite ready yet, but yeah, I mean, people talk about youth players like, you know, that we've brought through the years, and even Marcus Rashford recently, and you know, a striker is something Sir Alex Ferguson was always wanted. But for me, if you're talking about bringing a youth player through, it's, you know, the creme de la creme is a winger. The creme de la creme is a Ryan Giggs. You know, that is the sort of player you want. Somebody who's just flair. Well, everyone will be different, but I like Anthony Martial, not because he scores great goals, just because he runs at players, because he's skillful. I love flair. I love flair players. That's why I like Pogba as well. Josh Jackson says Lukaku's out of form, still got a goal every 2 games. He's going to get at least 30 a season. Look, Lukaku's got to play for tomorrow night for me. He's here to stay. What's the point in dropping him? He's here to stay. Start creating some chances. That's what I think. I don't think we're at the stage, Sion Williams, yet to use our youngsters. I think we're fine. And maybe, yeah, wing play is dying, but it doesn't need to die. It doesn't need to die. I totally disagree. I think wing play is very important. That's why I like Pulisic as well. I know most of them end up being, you know, centre attacking midfielders, but it's not dead. Anyway, we shouldn't have loaned out Timbo, Professor FC. I totally agree. We shouldn't have loaned out Pereira either, even though he wanted to go. But I understand why Pereira went, because he wanted to play football, and I don't think he would have played that much under United. But you know, good. Watford's Rickarlson, says Nari Liquan. Yeah, he's had a very good season, but I don't think he was very good against us. You know, that's the trouble with a player like that. Can they make a big step up? So I would say no at the moment, to be honest. Brian Price just saying that Jose scares off young players, and a few people have mentioned Angel Gomez. I'm very worried. I think that Angel Gomez thing is sort of the next thing on the horizon. I think if he goes, I don't even think, if Angel Gomez leaves Manchester United, I know for a fact a lot of Manchester United fans will turn against Mourinho because there's no reason for it to happen. He obviously gave him that debut for Rooney at the end of last season, but there's been opportunities to get him involved in the team. You can't just give somebody 20 minutes at the end of last season and then not have him in any match day squads the following season. The lad is of course going to think, well, I played at the end of last season and then I'm not involved anymore. Now hopefully there's something going on beyond the scenes where Angel Gomez is really happy at United. Mourinho is saying, this is what we're doing for you. Your career will progress this way. But liking Man City is blue. Rumours of Dortmund out of contract and can do whatever he wants. I think in January it makes me feel really, I tell you what, it's making me feel ill now. It really scares me because if Gomez leaves Manchester United, I'm obviously not going to turn against Mourinho because I don't think I ever will. But if he does, a lot of people will. And if he does, it will be on Mourinho, and it's unacceptable. Absolutely unacceptable. It was bad when, I said the same about Sir Alex with Pogba. Never should have happened. It was a big mistake. A big mistake, and this would be a huge mistake. So it cannot happen, and I hope it doesn't, because if it does, I wouldn't say it'd be the beginning of the end, but it would be very, very hard for Mourinho to recover from that with some United fans. And as we know, some United fans have already had enough of him anyway. Chris Smith, thanks for the contribution, Chris. And he wants to be a blue. F him, says Twix Space Raid as well. We'll see. Depay was a winger. Yeah, it didn't work out, Josh, did it? Anyway, we're nearly at 500 likes. Smash that like button, please. Let's do it while we're live. We've got to do it, so let's do it. Keith Gillespie was another one. Kidge Harvey, yes. Leon Bailey was a player that we were linked to. Was he at Schalke? And he's gone to, I can't remember where he went. He did go somewhere. Did he go to PSV? Or was that Irving Lozano? Another player I really liked. Signed Dybala, says Jake. Look, transfer window in January, I think we've got to do business. I think if on January the 31st we don't sign players, there's going to be a bit of a meltdown because we're not going to get enough business done in the summer that we need. I think we need at least 4, and they've got to be 4 top-class players. We won't get 4 done in next summer because it's only a month because of the World Cup and the transfer window being shortened. So, you know, we can't go into another season. Leon Bailey went to Bayern Leverkusen. We cannot go into another season with people like Lingard, Young, Fellaini, Jones, Darmian, Blind, Herrera. Half of those have got to be gone, and they've got to be replaced with better. And that is ruthless, of course. But the definition of ruthless is it's going to upset people. It is somewhat shocking, but it's for the greater good. And I think that is the word I would leave you with tonight. Manchester United and Jose Mourinho needs to be ruthless if we are going to close the gap on Manchester City. I think we'll finish second this year, I do. I think we'll be the second best club in England. And that, in some ways, is progress because we finished 6th last year. But we want to be first. How do we do it? We've got to be ruthless. And I'm sorry, that means getting rid of some players that you would probably think are okay. But that's just my opinion. What does it matter? Rogue Punisher says, do you think Ferguson could have done a better job than Mourinho with his squad? What do you think? I think Sir Alex Ferguson would win this title. I think Sir Alex Ferguson would comfortably win this title, yes. Because that's how he's the greatest sports manager there's ever been. Anyway, thanks everyone for watching. We are back tomorrow night. It's an 8 o'clock kickoff, so we'll be live at 7 o'clock with the team news right the way through till full time. There will be fan cams again. Hopefully they won't be as angry as the ones after Man City. Hopefully we'll win, but I don't think it's going to be as easy as it could be. I'm going to go Manchester United 2, Bournemouth 0, but Bournemouth aren't a bad side, and when you look at us this season, we are a bad side without Pogba. So I think it's going to be a battle. It's going to be an interesting one. Thanks everyone for watching. Really enjoyed the show tonight. It wasn't meant to be that long. I was going to do about 20 minutes, but as per usual, your comments pull me in. You're absolutely fantastic on the live comments. Do get comments in below if you're not watching live and give us your thoughts. Lots of things. The ruthless thing wasn't even planned. You pulled that out of me, and I think it was a really good conversation, and I'd love to see what people think who aren't watching live about it. Have I been too ruthless? Do you think we need to be ruthless? For me, we do. Thanks for watching. See you all tomorrow. and have a good evening. And big game. We've got to win tomorrow. We might not be looking up anymore, but behind us there's a real battle. And if you get pulled into that battle, you can go from 3rd to 6th in no time. And we don't want to be back there again. We need to keep that cushion between 2nd and 3rd. And that means we need to win tomorrow. Speak to you all soon. Thanks for watching. Bloody loved that tonight. Oh.